Hi everyone, it's Danny from Orchid Nature. Okay, so today we're going to discuss about Vanda orchids and more specifically, what do yellow leaves mean on a Vanda orchid? I had a viewer of mine ask me if it's okay for Vanda orchids to have yellow leaves that eventually fall. So I'll discuss the cases where it's okay to see something like this on your Vanda orchid and when it's not okay. Okay, so periodically Vanda orchids will eventually lose some of the bottom leaves, just like Phalaenopsis orchid. So as you can see here, I have a few yellowing leaves here on my Vanda, but if you can notice, they are the bottommost leaves. They are very old, and after a few years, Vanda orchids will start to lose the bottom leaves. I would say about 1 or 2 per year. Nothing more dramatic than that. So if you see something like this on your Vanda, especially if it's a taller Vanda, an older Vanda, it's quite alright and you shouldn't worry. It's just regenerating. And I've said this in a different video. They do this because the older a leaf is, the more prone it is to not perform correctly, have bruises and stuff like that. So there's no reason for the orchid to keep it, to try to nourish it and so on, because it's not performing correctly. So it just sheds the bottom leaves and creates new leaves from the top. Now, if you would see yellowing leaves on the upper levels of a Vanda orchid, especially on the top, now that's not a good sign. It means you're dealing with a problem, whether it's some sort of crown rot on the top or just some water trapped in between the leaves here, which actually rotted the leaf. It's a problem and you should really assess it. You should really see what's the cause and take some action depending on what the problem is. But if you're dealing with yellow leaves on the bottom here, which are slowly yellowing and then falling, it's quite alright. You shouldn't worry, and periodically Vanda orchids will do this. Now there is another type of yellowing leaves on a Vanda, and I have what to show you. Now if you notice yellow spots on your Vanda orchid, no matter the level, this is definitely a sign of sunburn. Now, Vanda orchids can deal with sun pretty well, but what happened to mine was I watered it, I didn't notice there was a lot of water on this leaf, and actually it acted like a magnifier glass, and the rays of the sun burned this particular portion of the leaf. As you can see, I don't have any other leaves affected, but this one is really damaged. So if you see spots like this on your Vanda orchid, definitely it's a sign of too much sun, of burning, and whether you left some water on the leaf or just the orchid is not adjusted to that amount of sun, you should just take it out of the sun or try to shelter it from a direct noon sun. Now this damage can happen very fast. I think this happened within an hour or two, so it didn't take that long. When I noticed it, it was already too late, even though I shaded my orchid. So if you see something like this, you know what's happening. This is sunburn. So the last Vanda I showed you had a sunburn that was really pale yellow. Now that's a sign of the sun working its way slowly into burning the leaf, if I can call it like that, because of the water. But if the orchid is really not adjusted to the sun damage can look even worse, and this actually looked worse some time ago, but I lost a bit of this leaf anyway. So this was caused again in a few hours, but as you can see, the leaf is really scorched. If I could call it like that, it's really burned. It's not fleshy anymore, it's just dry. And yeah, to make it pretty, you can just cut the affected portion. But if you don't want to hassle with it, it's quite alright. You can leave it like this. If you see that the browning starts to spread, definitely cut it and seal the wound with cinnamon powder to avoid other infections. But yeah, this is again sun damage. It can happen anywhere, so beware of that. Even Vanda orchids can burn. So okay, hopefully you found this useful, and yeah, I shed some more light on the problem with yellowing leaves. Just keep in mind, bottom leaves yellowing, 1 or 2, possibly 3, are okay, but if you see on the upper levels that you have yellowing leaves, take a closer look at your orchid and see what the problem is, because there is a problem. So if you want to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe. You can leave me your questions and suggestions in a comment below, and don't forget to visit orchidnature.com for more information. So thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!